We're back. Was it Wednesday? Happy Hump Day, America. Tonight we are going live. Political Pulse, another episode. We're going to be joined shortly by our co-host Lin Su, and on my right or left, depending on which side of the world you are, is Bill Reichner, my other co-host. And please make sure if you're liking the content, and you want to see more content, make sure you like, click, and subscribe to either Political Pulse live on Facebook, Political Pulse on Instagram, Twitter. It is Political Pulse 2. So tonight I am super excited because I call her the People's Champ. It's one of my favorite political candidates that I've met in the last year and a half in this whole political cycle. She's just went on another journey and running another election. So we're gonna have her come on tonight and give us some insight on not only running her race, but also running a more recently. Again, I call her the People's Champ. Welcome, Jenna Haig. We got her on there? Boom, there she is. Woohoo!
There's Jenna Haig.
There we go. At first, I was wondering where Lynn went.
So Jenna, we're going to talk a little bit tonight about the Broward REC. Maybe if we have time, get into your race, but before we get started, you and I had a big experience with the Broward REC, right?
Yeah.
And I want to just make sure everybody understands this is nothing personal against the people. It is just the way we feel about the way the operation runs. Because everybody there on an individual basis we like. It's just collectively as an organization we feel there's a lot of shortcomings. So Jenna, I'm going to go with you and give me some of your experience, and then we'll go back and forth on experiences.
So I just think, the RECs are set up, their whole mission statement is to get Republicans elected. And I think that there are a lot of things that are missing in at least the only REC that I have personally dealt with very intimately was in Broward. And there's just a lot of things that were missing, a lot of things over the last 2 years that I really had to figure out myself. And a lot of things that throughout the process I saw could have been done better, could have been done differently. And, like you said, it's not personal. It's not me saying that a person or a group of people are not great people. It's really just about what the mission statement is, and it's getting Republicans elected. And it's if we keep going with the same thing, nothing changes.
Yeah, like one of the things that I was told, which it just annoys me, and I've talked about this before, is they think winning is bringing up percentage points. For them, that's a win, but we still stay blue, right? And throughout the process, what I see is the REC's mission is all about the DeSantis, Rubio, and if you're not all on board with taking care of them, and not yourself as running for, your office, then I was told that I'm not a Republican. I shouldn't be in the Republican Party by a certain person.
I was told
insane.
And I think that's one of the major problems, honestly, is that where the RECs are supposed to be very local, they're supposed to be very grassroots. Instead of looking locally, they're looking to the top, and the focus becomes the top. But in reality, those top candidates have tons of money, tons of resources that locally candidates don't have. And you can't expect in a county like Broward to be able to build anything if you're not looking at all of the local level races.
That's right. That's right. Because that's the most important races, right? We got to take care of our counties and our cities, our districts.
Yes.
And I don't see the way it's running right now. And, obviously you just ran for chair there and that didn't work out successfully. And nothing is going to change if nothing changes, right? We're going to stay blue. We're going to have the same cronies doing the same things that they always do. And honestly, I bet you if I walked into the Broward REC right now, maybe a handful of people would even know who I am. And I ran for a state senate in the county, right?
Yep.
And I was literally meeting people that were helping me at the very end of the race. They didn't even know I existed. And then they started walking for me, but it was, it was late in the game. So my media wasn't out there. It was more of what I was able to accomplish.
Right.
But so, what are your ideas on changing to make us a more successful Broward? Because without the right ideas and the change, we're just going to keep flipping the same things over and over again.
Yeah. So, when Monday night happened, I actually walked out of there not upset at all. In reality, it was a little bit of a breath of fresh air. And that's just the truth, because all of the things that I said that I want to do and all of the things that I think need to happen in Broward, I still think that those things need to happen. And I'm actually still working on making those happen. I have a meeting that's going to be posted about tomorrow night that is going to be for next week on Wednesday. And all of those same ideas, all of those same things to move the county forward are still going to happen. I don't need to be chair of the REC for that to happen in reality.
Right.
And I think one of the most important things is we need to have candidate support. And when I say that, I'm not saying, yes, candidates need financial support, but I'm not saying just financial support. I mean, somebody is awesome and they have great ideas and they have a really good heart and they have thick skin and they are willing to put their name out there and step up and do something. They need to have the support behind them to say, okay, these are the steps that you need to take in order to do this. These
100%.
are the things you need to know. This is how you set up this, and this. And if you need a vendor for this or this, these are great vendors that are great with turnaround and they will work with you. And if you need support in this sense, these are the people you can go to help you here and there, and really have the backs of the people that are willing to step up and run, because you can go out and raise money. And that's great. And I think that we need the financial support too. And I'm actually working on putting something together to be able to do that as well. But all the money in the world doesn't mean anything if you don't have the proper channels and know what is needed to be done.
Right. We need guidance, right?
Right.
I mean, the only reason I was able to get into the race, right? The night before everything was due, we were at Wings Plus, and you or somebody told me that my paperwork wasn't submitted properly.
Yep.
If you didn't give me the guidance, and it's you're the only reason I was in that race.
Yep.
If you didn't give me the guidance that night, and I met with the REC before, right? Like once, right? There was no real sit down. How's your paperwork? Let's go through it. Let's make sure you're good. Let's make sure everything's filed right. These are basic 101 things. If they want to have good candidate recruitment, if they want to keep candidates coming up on the farm team, none of that is in place. And if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even have been in the race and had the opportunity to lose. So
I second that, Bill. I second that. Jenna is a movement by herself.
This is why I think that was, it's important that you stay in that game.
Yeah. And I've had probably 10 or 15 people in the last 2 days reach out to me and say, I really hope you're going to run again in 24 and this and that. And very clear, I don't plan on running in 24. Now, that maybe further down the line, but my goal and my objective right now and for the next election cycle, honestly, is to be kind of a behind the scenes, taking everything that I've learned over the last 2 years and being able to help good candidates and to be able to push the county in the right direction.
Right.
I think that.
Go ahead, Mo.
No, and I don't know if that's why you went through this process, because I watched your campaign from the beginning, which started like over a year ago. And like you said, you learned a lot of this on your own. And to be honest with you, you were probably the most informed candidate I met in the entire, as far as Broward County, the entire election process. Now, and again, Bill and I, second this. Um, we both, again, were supposed to have support from the REC in these regards, but then, Bill and I's phone kept on ringing yours throughout the entirety of it. So, I mean, going forward, I do appreciate the fact that you say, you know what, I may have lost for the right. It's a breath of fresh air, because I think you have brilliant ideas, and it might have been an impediment to be working in such a format that might have restricted a lot of your brilliant ideas. So
I honestly think, and this is the truth, that, and I actually said this to my husband a few days before the election, that if I had won, I would have been Trump for the next 2 years. So I would have had such opposition.
That
all of the things that I really wanted to accomplish, it would have been such an uphill battle to do, because there were just some people in that room that were going to do everything in their power to make sure that it was difficult.
Yeah.
It seems like they did that throughout the election cycle, but at the same time, yeah, you're right on that too. So
yeah,
it's one of these things, Jenna, that they are their own crowd.
Yes.
And breaking into someone's crowd, like Trump tried to break into the establishment, everybody's going to work against you.
Yeah.
You're better off. The good members are going to follow you, and they're going to want to get things done. And you're starting from your rules, your vision, and you're going to accomplish it.
Yeah.
Right. And the candidates are going to gravitate to you.
Yeah.
Because we all need guidance. We all need a pat on the back when things are bad. I mean, how many days, like, I know personally, I come home some days, I'm like, what the hell am I even doing this for? You need someone to talk you through it, right? Because it's hard. Right?
Yeah.
And I will tell you, the difference I see between Broward and in Palm Beach, okay, is Palm Beach, and now Michael Barnett's going through the same kind of thing. His election, and same turmoil. But that man put a team together that helped me. And they met with me constantly. I mean, almost weekly.
Yeah.
And then Jody was on the phone with me almost every couple days. And they gave me almost like a book. And it had a flow chart on how to run a campaign. And they gave me a top-down version of, who to put in what place, like a flow chart of the positions and what the positions should do. And it was up to me to fill it out and find those people, which is what a candidate should do.
Yeah.
But the outline was there, and that's what helped me get going. And that's, why I won Palm Beach. And I mean, we were walking in Palm Beach. They put effort into their candidates like there was no tomorrow. We weren't focused on Rubio and DeSantis, although we asked the question if we will vote for them. It wasn't part of our program on our phone. We used Salvo instead of Sidekick. It was built for us, our questions. We were able to use our own notes to go back and follow back up with people that were interested in talking to us.
Hold on, Bill.
And we won.
I want you to get to a question. Is there a question for Jenna?
Is there a question for Jenna? Jenna, well, I mean, she kind of answered it. She's together behind the scenes.
So tell us what you're up to. What's your next step? Like, I know you're going to be causing all of this, like this. Yeah, you're going to be causing all of this stuff. Like, you're going to be causing that in the Broward Republican Executive Committee, or are you going to be like doing something else? Like,
so two answers to that is, one, I'm not going to give what has occurred over the last 2 years with the Broward REC and whatnot free rent in my head. What happened, and I'm moving on from the situation to keep focusing on all of the negatives when I don't see a path for that changing. Doesn't do anybody any good. So what I am doing is essentially starting an organization and keeping with Broward first, and we're having our first meeting next week on Wednesday. All of the details and whatnot are going to be going out tomorrow. I'm just kind of in the midst of signing my contract and stuff like that. So, but all of the things that I spoke about the last 3 weeks is exactly what I'm going to do in Broward first. So I'm still going to have committees and make sure that we have these things set up. We are still going to do fundraising for candidates. We are going to actively go out and try to recruit candidates and explain to them what exactly it means. Grassroots volunteers, explain to a volunteer what it means to actually volunteer and what they're getting themselves into, and then mentor those volunteers from the very beginning, starting now. So it's not a month in before election and it's the first time that they're knocking on a door or making a phone call. We're doing outreach into communities that typically are not touched in Broward, because I can tell you personally, I went and knocked on doors in some neighborhoods that haven't been touched in a very long time. And when I got to the door, they were like, "Where you guys been?" And also,
true story.
It's the reality, and making sure that we have the tools necessary to be effective instead of just everybody kind of working as on their own. Like, being a precinct committee person is great, and I have been one for almost 3 years and going knocking doors, but it's more effective if you know who every candidate in your area is, because then when you're going to knock on the door, you're able to talk about not just DeSantis and Rubio, but you're able to talk about and a Bill and a Lynn and a Jenna and whoever it is that's there.
Yep.
Because we are, as candidates, you're one person, and volunteer time is precious, and you can only get, people only have so much time to spare. And some of these districts are huge. I mean, I had a woman tell me on Monday night, she came up screaming at me and said, she's actually screaming in my face and telling me that she was happy I lost. And this was another Republican, because she said, I didn't knock doors because she didn't see my door hangers when she went out in Tamarack. And my response to her was, I knock doors every single day, but I had 122,000 voters in my district. There's no possible way I was going to hit every one of them. But if she was out knocking and she lived in my district, we did a disservice as an organization, as BREC, in that if she's out knocking doors, she should be also knocking doors for all of the candidates in that area.
Agreed. 100%. 100%. And that was a big letdown.
Yeah, so we'll dive into that, I guess, on our next show, because I mean, she kind of set a good tone. Now we understand why I call her the people's champion, because she just sounds like she about to change the game up in Broward. You know what I mean? So, and she did, to be honest with you, awesome. As a candidate, Jenna set the tone of what we need to do in Broward to get stuff done, because obviously it wasn't getting done before.
Things up.
Right, and it's getting shaken up some more, and stuff's going to turn red in Broward.
Done.
Let me ask really quick. If we want to contact you, does info@jennahegg.com work?
Yes, it does. Yep.
That's right.
Okay, good. Awesome. So I just wanted to, give people like your contact information if they want to join forces with you in Broward. They see eye to eye with all the things that you agree with. Did you have any last words for us before we hop off?
Anybody, whether you are a part of BREC or not, if you are looking to help make a change and be involved, then, reach out and come and talk to us, because it's it's going to be a place where we are going to be doing, not just talking.
Awesome.
I, for one, totally look forward to it, Jenna, because the next race, I want to win.
Yeah.
I'm ready campaigning, and I want to
So
win.
he's declared now that he's running.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
There's no sitting back.
Bill's going to be that
Awesome.
one red spot.
Unfortunately, I'm out of Broward now. So.
Okay, guys. Red dot in Broward.
All right, so we'll see you on our next show, Jenna. Thank you so much. Wait, Mo?
So yeah, we just want to say again, America, thank you for joining us. Please, if you like what we're doing, click like or follow or subscribe, either Political Pulse Live on Facebook, on YouTube, or Political Pulse 2 on Twitter. So until the next time, please enjoy your hump day. We look forward to seeing you the next time we speak with Jenna. Hopefully she's got some more insight for you and how we're going to shake things up in Broward County. So until that next time, everyone say bye, America.
Bye, America.
Bye.